Alrighty guys, guess what? I'm back again 3 days in a row. That's 3 episodes in a row. We're on that YouTube grind, let's get it. A few of you asked me over on Instagram when I did post about these, how they compared to the Superfly 6s. You guys wanted a more kind of in detail answer on why you shouldn't, upgrade, why you should upgrade, kind of what the differences are between the 7s and the 6s. So pretty much I'm just going to be doing a comparison video between the Nike Mercurial Superfly 7 and the Nike Mercurial Superfly 6. So what's the difference? What's the same? What's good about the 6? What's good about the 7? Essentially is everything I'm going to run you through today. Let's start off with the Superfly 6. The Superfly 6 is a great boot. Honestly, my personal favorite on the market with the Vapor 12. As I've said before, honestly, there's no real need to upgrade to the Superfly 7 unless you really have to. This is still a great boot in its own merit. However, in my opinion, the Superfly 7 just beats it in every single way, and here's why. As you can see, the Mercurial Superfly 6 is nice and soft, and it is a little bit stiff, which kind of is a problem. Feels a little bit unnatural on foot when you first get them on. The Mercurial Superfly 7 fixes that. As you can see, the upper is just so buttery compared to that of the Superfly 6. If I take out this cardboard, these are brand new, and you probably can't see it on camera, but that upper just does feel a little bit plasticky compared to that of the 7. As you can see, the 7, while it does, have that Nike skin covering, it is just so plush and so soft, and honestly, it holds its shape superbly because of that double yarn that they've used inside there. So one of those yarns used for actually the shape of the boot in the lockdown, and the other one of those yarns actually used for the Nike skin to be infused with inside it. So instead of just smothering the whole boot in that Nike skin, as you can see right there how they kind of separate it, they've got the fly knit, and then they'll coat it with that Nike skin with that kind of rib texture on it there, whereas you can see here it's uncoated, whereas here's coated. This whole boot is coated in Nike skin. There's no real gaps apart from the lacing system, which has to be uncoated in order to get the boots on and off, as well as the collar. With the 6, it's kind of, a bit here, a bit there, there's not coated, there is. It's kind of all over the place with the texturing and the coating, but they fixed that issue with the 7. It's a lot more, soft, and I just find that in hand, it just feels a lot more buttery than this. This kind of feels more plasticky, a little bit more cheap. But once you do break these in, you do wear them for about 6 to 8 hours. You wear them about 3 or 4 games. They do soften up and they end up becoming like this. As I've noticed from my own previous experiences, having owned 2 or 3 pairs of these, and this being my 4th pair of Mercurials that I've burnt through in a year and a half. That's pretty much about it on the upper spectrum. They both have ACC, although it's not written on this one, it is written on the 6s, as you can see there. Sole plate, absolutely identical stud pattern. They have actually added these kind of triangular tips, the split sole. They have shaved off a little bit of weight on the 7s by removing kind of these unnecessary, I don't even know what they are, I'd say claws, to help them, stay on the bottom a little bit more. They've actually gotten rid of those because they've probably seen them that they're unnecessary weight for no reason, so they've gotten rid of them. But they have actually added that AeroTrack system, which I'm really impressed with. That's probably my favorite thing on the boot, is that AeroTrack, because it does make the sole plate a little bit stiffer, which is what I've been crying for Nike to do. Make the sole plates a bit stiffer. I don't care if I get foot cramps, as long as I don't get those blisters in 3-4 months time when that sole plate breaks down. And I do get that stud pressure, which I hate after when that sole plate breaks down. So they have added that AeroTrack, which immediately on foot I can feel it stiffer, which I'm so happy about, which is probably the main reason why I bought these boots. And yeah, the Superfly 6 is just, after 3-4 months, 5 months, that sole plate will break down. We'll get those microscopic tears and cracks in it. Essentially, after I burn through these, I'll be rotating one Merc to the other Merc just to do a really good full test for you guys. Turns out I probably will be doing a play test coming out maybe next week or the week after, depending if I can get a field with a goal. But essentially, this boot is a better boot in every single way. But the only thing I don't like about the new Mercurials is they have narrowed that toe box. They've narrowed it down just a tiny bit. And even just looking at the sole plate, you can see that the tip of the sole plate is actually a little bit narrower, which I'm not a big fan of. I do prefer that it was a little bit wider around the toes, because my second toe is actually a little bit longer than my big toe. So having that extra bit of room there kind of accommodates for that. Whereas on this one, I can feel it kind of touching alongside the side of the boot here, which isn't great, but I know once I do stretch out that toe box, it won't be an issue for me. I did actually try these on with thicker socks, and it was touching a little bit with no-show socks. It's not as noticeable with those thicker football socks. I did try them when it was touching just a little bit here, but that shouldn't be a big deal. If it is a big deal, I guess then I'm gonna have to go up to a size 11.5 in these, which if they're too small, they're too small, then I guess I'm going back to the 6s, which fit me absolutely perfectly, by the way. And that's another thing that I should mention is there's actually been a price drop on the new ones compared to the old ones. Now, the old ones are actually 340 Australian dollars, and the new ones are actually 320 Australian dollars. So that's what I like to see, because, you know, for $340, people were saying, why pay an extra, you know, $50 for that little collar that literally spans probably about 4 centimeters, if that, compared to the Vapor, which retail for $290. Literally, for another $50, you're paying for that bit of a collar, and the boot's exactly the same. Mind the soft plate, these are the AG versions. Looking at the upper's identical to these. People were saying, you know, why pay an extra $50 for that collar when we could just get the Vapors? They're exactly the same. So it's good to see that the new Mercurials have actually dropped $20 Australian. The Vapor 13s in the new generation are still $290 compared to the old generation. So no price drop for them, which I'd like to see. I'd like to see them maybe go down to $280 and bring the Mercurial Superfly 7s to $300. I think that is a better price because, you know, the football boot industry is so inflated these days. Now, apologies about the camera change. My other camera died, so I'm on the secondary camera. So the last thing I want to talk about is obviously the aesthetics. The Superfly 7 just blows the Superfly 6 out of the water. Just that nice blue colorway with the swoosh and that kind of off-white-esque branding there with the Merc and all the Nike logos on the bottom. Just do it. You got the Born Mercurial, always forward, nice shimmer, which is just, you know, amazing. I'm not sure if you can see that. The Superfly 6 is also a beautiful boot. It's got a great colorway, obviously. That swoosh there does actually have a good shine to it. It is reflective. No one really does appreciate that toe swoosh compared to that big one down the side. Obviously, I'm not crazy about that little toe one there. That's kind of pointless. I'd rather they kind of put one, you know, there, kind of put that there just to look like the classic Mercs did. But yeah, I'm a big fan of these. They obviously are a lot more in your face compared to something like this. A lot more vibrant. It does stand out with that big M there. You can definitely tell these are Mercurials from a while away. And yeah, definitely prefer the new ones compared to the Superfly 6s. Alrighty guys, if you enjoyed the video, make sure you leave a like, hit that subscribe button, and yeah, I'll see you guys next video.